Hey guys, tonight we're going to start from absolute zero. Picture this, you're standing at the foot of a massive mountain called English, with not a single word in your backpack. No grammar, no vocabulary, not even hello. And you're thinking, how the heck do I climb this thing? Well, a broken bar, you're not alone. Millions have done IDA without tutors, without money, without a clue. Just like you, you'll stumble. Probably say something that translates to "I eat shoe" by accident, and you will wonder if your brain is melting. And the kicker? You probably won't survive a broken bar if you try to do it the school way. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Also, drop a comment with your location and what time you're tuning in. I love knowing who's lying in bed with a cup of tea and who's just sneaking a podcast during work. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You don't know any English? Great. That means you don't have to unlearn all the robotic grammar drills most people got stuck with. Think about this. Babies are the most effective language learners on earth. No notes, no grammar books, no pressure. They just listen, absorb, and repeat. If a chubby toddler can master sentence structure while throwing Cheerios across the kitchen, so can you. The trick is this: you need to treat English like a sound, not a system. Don't worry about spelling. Don't obsess over grammar rules. Those will come naturally later. First, immerse yourself in how English sounds. Close your eyes and just let the noise hit you. The rhythm, the tone, the stress on certain words. You're not analyzing yet, you're soaking. And here's the beauty of starting from zero: you don't have any bad habits yet. You're not translating in your head. You're not frozen by fear of sounding dumb. You're free. That freedom, it's your superpower. Now let's get into mindset. Most beginners assume they need to study hard, like for a math test. Nope. That mindset will eat your motivation alive. You need to play. Think of learning English like learning to skateboard. You're gonna fall. You're gonna look silly. But the more fun you have, the faster you improve. Here's a historical fact to make you feel better. The British Empire once had over 450 million people learning English by force. Today, over 1.5 billion people are learning it by choice. And guess what? The ones who succeed are the ones who enjoy the ride, not the ones who drill vocabulary like a robot on Red Bull. Want a quirky fact? In the 1800s, some wealthy British families hired nannies who didn't speak English at all so their children could grow up bilingual in French or Italian. Why? Because they believed that kids learn better by instinct, not by lessons. Spoiler alert. They were right. Historians still argue whether forced language learning, think colonial classrooms and missionary schools, actually helped or harmed long-term fluency. But tonight, we're not forcing anything. We're leaning back, breathing deep, and letting English sneak in through the cracks like sunlight through a curtain. So, even if your current English level is "I know the word Google," that's okay. You're already doing better than you think. You're here. You're listening. Your brain is already learning, even if you don't feel it yet. Every whisper, every phrase, every rhythm is carving a little groove in your memory. Later, when someone says, "How did you learn English so fast?" you'll smirk and say, "Oh, I just listened to podcasts in bed and pretended I was a baby again." You've got no grammar rules in your head. Perfect. Let's keep it that way for now. Because the fastest learners don't start with verb tenses or the difference between much and many. They start with words. Simple, useful, living, breathing words. Imagine you're dropped into New York City tomorrow. You know nothing, but you hear, over and over again, "Coffee, money, sorry, hello." Your brain doesn't go, "Ah yes, a hello is an interjection." It just goes, "Okay, this sound equals friendly greeting." Got it? Language is sound plus meaning. That's it. When you start with words first, you give your brain something real to hold on to. Grammar comes later as a pattern your brain naturally starts to notice. It's like how you didn't learn music theory before singing "Happy Birthday," you just sang the dang song. Historical side note: during World War II, The U.S. Army created crash language courses for soldiers who needed to operate in foreign countries within weeks. Grammar books? Nope. They trained soldiers by shouting basic words, phrases, and commands over and over until they stuck. You don't argue with something that works under literal gunfire. And here's your quirky tidbit of the night. Dolphins are said to have names for each other, a distinct signature whistles they respond to. Basically, dolphins invented vocabulary without grammar. Let that sink in. If a sea pancake with a permanent grin can make language work without rules, so can you. Historians still argue whether grammar first education of those old blackboard-style lessons from the 1800s actually delayed fluency rather than helped it. Even today, language teachers are split. Some swear by the grammar translation method, while others throw it out the window in favor of immersion and communication. You're going rogue. And that's exactly what your brain wants. So, how do you start stacking words without grammar? You pick categories. Think food, travel, body, feelings, daily routines. And you collect the top 10 most common words in each category. No need to memorize. Just recognize and reuse. Let's play. Imagine these scenes. A. You're at a cafe. Copyright. You hear, coffee, sugar, please, thank you, hot, cold. A. You're on a bus. You hear, ticket, stop, next, left, right, driver. A. You're brushing your teeth. You say, brush, tooth, mouth, water, clean. Do you need to say, I am brushing my teeth with great precision? Nope. Brush teeth is already a sentence to your beginner brain. It gets the job done. Like a caveman with Wi-Fi. Your goal in this phase is survival phrases. Think Tarzan, but polite. Want water. Go sleep. Phone no work. It's broken, but it's beautiful. You're using English as a tool, not a theory. Now here's where it gets sneaky smart. Every word you learn is a seed. Later, when grammar starts showing up naturally, you'll already know how those seeds grow into sentences. You'll start noticing patterns like, I want plus, thing, equals I want coffee. You are plus, feeling, equals you are happy. This is plus, object, equals this is phone. You didn't memorize these. You felt them. That's learning. To accelerate this, listen to dialogues, really short ones, children's shows, beginner podcasts, YouTube channels where people speak like they're narrating to their cat. That's your goldmine. Watch a clip, hear the words, pause, say them out loud, again and again, until it sticks. Another trick, label everything around you. You wake up, point at your bed and say bed. You go to the door, touch it, say door. You're not crazy. You're training your brain like an elite spy prepping for a mission. One more thing, resist the urge to translate everything. Translation slows you down. You don't want to think a broken bar in my language, this means a broken bar. You want to jump straight to meaning, like a reflex. So today, just start with one category. 10 words. Say them out loud twice a day. That's it. Tomorrow, add 10 more. Within a week, you've got 70 survival words. Within a month, you're unstoppable. And best of all, you still don't know any grammar, and that's your unfair advantage. Now let's do something a little rebellious. Ready? Go grab your grammar book. Yes, the one gathering dust on your shelf, and gently place it in a box labeled "Do not open until you're fluent." We're not burning it, fire hazard, plus maybe you paid money for it. But we are officially ignoring it for now, because you're about to do what most learners are too scared to try: learn English without studying. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. You don't need a grammar chart to speak English. You need exposure, real, unfiltered, messy, everyday exposure. This is where traditional learning takes a nosedive. You sit at a desk, you read about past participles, you do fill-in-the-blank exercises like some kind of sad grammar detective. But real conversation? That's nowhere in sight. Here's a historical truth bomb. In the 1950s, schools around the world adopted the audiolingual method of language teaching, which emphasized repeating perfect sentences over and over again, a kind of like parrots in a classroom. It worked a broken bar to a point. Students sounded okay on paper, but when it came time to actually talk, they froze like deer in a vocabulary blinded headlight. And here's your fringe fact of the night. Some polyglots are people who speak 5, 10, even 20 languages refuse to use textbooks at all. One guy learned to speak fluent Russian just by playing video games with Russian subtitles. Others rely on romance novels, travel vlogs, or even IKEA instruction manuals. True story. Historians still argue whether formal language education helps at all in the early phases. Some believe classroom learning kills natural intuition, others insist it builds a necessary foundation. You're building your own method from the ground up. Here's how you burn the book without burning out. Step 1: create what I call a language bubble. That means surrounding yourself with English from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep. Phone interface: switch it to English. Siri: English. YouTube homepage: English. Memes? Yes, even memes. Step 2: listen like a lazy spy. You don't have to understand everything, just hear it. Let the sound wash over you. You'll pick up patterns without even realizing it, like how babies somehow know when a sentence ends, even if they don't know the words. Step 3: ditch perfection. You're not writing an academic paper, you're trying to order pizza. And guess what? I want pizza is perfect, because it gets you pizza. Mission accomplished. Let's say you meet a native speaker. You say, I want coffee, not I would like a small latte with oat milk, please. That fancy version, that can wait. Right now, you just need your caffeine. You'll be amazed how often simple English gets the job done. Another secret: embrace repetition. Watch the same 3-minute video 10 times. The first time, you'll catch maybe 1 or 2 words. The 5th time, you'll start predicting what comes next. By the 10th time, you're whispering along like it's a pop song. Need inspiration? Go look up the first emails ever written in English. They're hilarious. No punctuation, terrible spelling, and yet a broken bar. People understood them, because communication isn't about being perfect, it's about being understood. You're allowed to fumble, you're allowed to mix up words, just don't stop. That momentum, that daily contact with the living language, that's the magic. Let me say it again for dramatic effect. Studying grammar too early kills momentum. It makes you second-guess every sentence. It pulls you into your head when you need to be in the moment. So trust yourself. Trust your ears. Trust that weird feeling when something just sounds right. You're learning English like you learn your first language, by living it. So tonight, instead of reviewing rules about adverbs and clauses, try this. Watch a 2-minute English conversation on YouTube. Replay it. Speak along. No pausing, no translating, just copy the sounds like a slightly confused parrot. It's awkward, it's clumsy, it works. And tomorrow, do it again, with a different video, or the same one, doesn't matter. What matters is consistency and not complexity. Your grammar book isn't going anywhere. You can visit it later, once you've built a foundation of confidence and understanding. But for now, let it gather a little more dust. You've got better things to do, like becoming a real English speaker. You open Netflix, a sea of shows stares back at you, dramas, comedies, thrillers, reality chaos. You think, maybe I should study. But here's the twist. This is studying. Yup. Welcome to the secret weapon of lazy geniuses. Netflix, YouTube, TikTok. Your guilty pleasures just became your language classroom. No desks, no pressure, just you, a screen, and an endless buffet of native English conversations waiting to be devoured. Let's get one thing straight. Watching English shows isn't cheating, it's immersion. It's modern magic, and it's exactly how thousands of people go from clueless to conversational without ever opening a textbook. Here's a mainstream historical nugget. Back in the 1980s, Scandinavian countries aired American TV shows with subtitles instead of dubbing. Decades later, studies showed that Scandinavian kids had better English listening and speaking skills than their neighbors. Coincidence? Not even close. Now for your quirky twist. One fan of the sitcom Friends claims she learned all her English by binge-watching the show with English subtitles without ever traveling to an English-speaking country. She now uses Chandler Bing sarcasm in job interviews. Apparently, it works. Historians still argue whether passive exposure through entertainment really builds fluency. or if it's just mental candy. Some claim you need active participation. Others insist that comprehension grows naturally when you're relaxed. Who's right? Honestly, probably both. But here's what we know for sure: if you watch enough English, your brain adapts. It stops translating. It starts feeling the language. It learns the way you learned your native tongue, through stories, emotions, drama, and yes, even cringy love triangles. So how do you turn your screen into a learning engine? Step 1. Use subtitles, but smartly. Start with English subtitles, not your native language. The goal is to match what you hear with what you read. That combo wires your brain for real-time recognition. Step 2. Rewatch short scenes. You don't need to understand a full movie. Choose a 5-minute clip. Watch once for fun, then again for meaning, then again, muttering lines under your breath like a caffeinated parrot. By the third or fourth time, you're not just watching, you're training. Step 3. Choose the right content. News channels, academic lectures, double. You want everyday speech stuff with slang, emotion, humor, and rhythm. Sitcoms, vlogs, reality shows, teen dramas where people say, like, "Oh my god, literally?" 20 times per minute. That's the gold. Step 4. Repeat characters. Find one show, stick with it, learn their voices, their quirks. Soon, you'll predict their lines. You'll start thinking in their tone. That's how actors train. That's how you train. Bonus tip: turn audio only. Once you've watched a scene 3 or 4 times, try listening to just the audio while you cook or shower. It's like your brain goes, "Oh, I know this," and fills in the blanks. Magic. Now let's talk about one pitfall. Don't just sit and watch passively. That's entertainment. You're here to learn. Make it a ritual. Pause, rewind, mimic. Say the lines out loud. Yes, even the ridiculous ones. Especially the ridiculous ones. And if anyone walks in on you yelling, "We were on a break," in the bathroom mirror, just tell them it's English class. The point is this: language isn't sterile. It's alive. And shows are especially funny, emotional, fast-paced ones are the closest thing to real-life English you'll find without boarding a plane. And if you're thinking, "But I don't understand most of it," good. That means you're in the right zone. That fuzzy, slightly confused feeling, that's growth. That's your brain rearranging furniture. One last metaphor for tonight: learning English through shows is like moving into a noisy apartment. At first, it's all a blur. But over time, you start recognizing voices through the walls. You know who's cooking, who's arguing, who always plays that weird flute music. And one day, without even noticing, you're humming along. Let's get real. You don't need to speak English yet. You need to mimic it, repeat it, copy it like an actor learning a role. Because when you try to speak too early, your brain panics. It scrambles for rules, translates from your native language, and trips over itself trying to form perfect sentences. But when you mimic, you bypass all that chaos. This is the mimic method. You hear something, you echo it, like a mirror, like a toddler, like a karaoke machine with attitude. And guess what? It works. Even the CIA uses mimic-based drills to train agents in new languages fast. Not grammar drills, not writing, just hours of copying native speakers until the sounds feel natural. Because mimicking unlocks fluency before fluency even begins. Let's rewind history for a second. In ancient Rome, orators trained by repeating great speeches over and over again, and not reading, not analyzing, just saying them out loud until the rhythm and power sank into their bones. You're going to do the same, but with memes, movie lines, and podcast jokes. Now here's your quirky tidbit. One guy famously learned a British accent purely by binge-watching Peppa Pig with his toddler. That's right, an entire accent, from a cartoon pig. So yes, if you can oink, you can speak English. Historians still argue whether mimicry leads to better fluency than formal speaking practice. Some studies claim it builds muscle memory and rhythm. Others argue it lacks original thought. But if you're starting from zero, mimicking gets your tongue moving while your confidence catches up. Here's how to make it part of your daily ritual. Step 1. Pick your material. Choose a native English speaker with a voice you like. Could be a YouTuber, actor, podcaster, or even a TikToker who rants about iced coffee. Doesn't matter, just make sure they're clear, expressive, and talk like a real human, not a textbook. Step 2. Get noisy. Find a short clip of 20 to 60 seconds max. Listen once, then again, and on the third go, pause after every sentence and repeat it exactly like them. Copy their speed, intonation, emotion, even their weird little pauses and sighs. You're not just repeating words, you're becoming them, momentarily. Step 3. Don't translate how feel. This is where it gets fun. Don't think about the meaning too hard. Let your brain connect meaning through tone, rhythm, body language. It's like how you know someone's mad even if you don't understand the words. They don't need subtitles to sound angry, right? Step 4. Record yourself. Yes, I know, cringe. But trust me, recording yourself is like watching a replay of a game. You catch the weak spots. You start hearing where you're close, and where you sound like a malfunctioning robot. And each time you fix one thing, you sound more human. Let's break down a simple example. You hear, "Hey, what's up, you good?" You repeat, "Hey, what's up, you good?" Not "I am good, thank you." Not textbook mode, just a casual, relaxed echo. You're absorbing real-life English and not grammar rules. And it doesn't stop there. You mimic emotions, confusion, surprise, sarcasm. English isn't just sound, it's vibe. Tone is everything. This isn't shadowing, it's full body mimicry. Facial expressions, body posture. Say the line while raising your eyebrows. Say it like you're gossiping, like you're annoyed, like you're in a bad sitcom. That's how your brain locks in not just the words but how English is used. Over time, you'll notice something bizarre. You'll start speaking before thinking. Sentences will just a broken bar come out. You won't know why you said it like that, but it'll sound right. That's mimicry turning into fluency. And if you're still shy, start by mimicking in your head. Whisper the lines. Mouth them silently on the bus like a secret agent. It's okay. No one's watching. Probably. This is the sneaky path to speaking. No grammar drills. No long speeches. Just echoes. Repetition. Play. And suddenly, English starts feeling less like a foreign language and more like a second skin. So tonight, pick a voice. Repeat after them, again and again, until their voice becomes yours for just a moment. It's weird, it's powerful, and it's the fastest way to sound like you actually belong in an English conversation. Let's face it, your phone is already glued to your hand. You scroll it before bed, you scroll it when you wake up, you scroll it while pretending to listen in meetings. So instead of fighting it, let's make your phone your English learning machine. No shame, no guilt, no screen time lectures, just pure, effortless immersion. You're not adding extra hours to your day. You're replacing dead time with smart input. In other words, we're hijacking your screen addiction for good. First, a little historical nugget. Back in 1994, the first smartphone prototype was created by IBM. It was clunky, had a stylus, and basically no apps. Now, you've got thousands of tools in your pocket that could have taught Julius Caesar English before he got stabbed. And here's a weird fact, there's a language app that uses Mimesa, yes, actual viral internet Mimesa, to teach English slang. It's called Lingua Memes, and users swear by it. Learning how to use it, skiving a broken bar from SpongeBob. That's 2025 education, baby. Historians still argue whether digital language learning actually beats in-person classes. Some experts worry about screen fatigue. Others say the instant access, repetition, and global variety of content makes smartphones better than traditional methods. One thing's for sure, your phone is your most powerful learning tool if you use it right. Let's transform it. Step 1. Change your system language to English. Yes, even if you're terrified. Your settings, your weather app, your alarm clock, everything switches. Suddenly, snooze becomes a vocabulary word. And battery low feels like a dramatic warning from a Hollywood film. Step 2. Curate your feed ruthlessly. Unfollow accounts that don't teach you anything. Fill your Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube with English creators, comedians, vloggers, travel nerds, book reviewers, anyone who talks fast and often. This is what I call scroll learning. You learn while doing nothing but scrolling. Step 3. Use smart apps for microlearning. Apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, Anki, Quizlet, or even Duolingo can become your 5-minute daily rituals. But here's the catch: don't treat them like school. Use them to practice, not cram. Step 4. Voice assistants are your new teachers. Talk to Siri. Ask Google questions. Dictate your grocery list in English. It doesn't matter what you say, just that you're saying something. Hey Siri, what's the weather in Paris? May not win you a grammar trophy, but it's one more sentence spoken. Step 5. Download podcasts and listen on the go. You can cook, walk, gym, or even shower with native English speakers whispering sweet idioms in your ear. Try podcasts where the host speaks naturally and not too slow, not too scripted. Bonus points if they make you laugh. And now the really sneaky part: notifications. Set them up so your apps send you one new English word a day, not 50, just one. One word that shows up on your lock screen while you're waiting for a text. Boom. Passive learning. Here's what it looks like in real life. You wake up, your lock screen shows, word of the day, stubborn A, adjective, refusing to change your mind. You say it out loud. You picture your ex. You move on. Later, you scroll Instagram. A funny English meme hits you. You laugh. You save it. At lunch, you open YouTube, of vloggers talking about their worst haircut ever. You hear, it was a total disaster. Like, I looked like a soggy mushroom. You don't understand soggy mushroom, but you smile. Later, you hear someone say disaster, and now it clicks. You remember the haircut. Boom. Vocabulary locked in. The point is, you don't need more time. You need better moments. Moments already baked into your dia. Scrolling, tapping, watching it turned into practice without pressure. And don't worry about being productive every second. That's not the goal. The goal is consistency. English becomes something you swim in, not something you chase. You breathe it. You absorb it, without stress. And one day, while you're checking your calendar or reading a random notification, you'll notice something wild. You didn't translate it in your head, you just understood it instantly. That's not an accident. That's your phone doing what school never could, making English part of your life, not just your homework. Let's talk about sounds. Not spelling, not writing, just sounds. Because here's a dirty little secret no one tells you when you start learning English: you can speak fluently and still not know how to spell half the words you say. And that's perfectly okay. English spelling is, quite frankly, a mess. A beautiful, chaotic mess. The way a word looks and the way it sounds, often totally different. Silent letters, weird vowel combinations, exceptions to every rule. It's like someone tried to design a language while riding a roller coaster. Let me prove it. Try reading these out loud, though. Tough, through, thought, all spelled similarly, all sound completely different. If that doesn't convince you to ignore spelling at the start, I don't know what will. Here's your historical hit for the night. English spelling wasn't standardized until the 1700s. Before that, even Shakespeare spelled the same word 3 different ways in one play. He didn't care. He was too busy inventing new ones. You can too eventually. Now, for your quirky tidbit. There's a famous poem called The Chaos by Gerard Noel Strinnett. Copyright, designed to show how ridiculous English pronunciation is. It contains over 800 of the most confusing words ever written. Even native speakers struggle to read it. Go ahead, look it up later and cry softly into your pillow. Historians still argue whether standardized spelling helped or hindered language learning. Some say it preserved the language. Others say it froze it into an illogical mess that frustrates everyone. Either way, you're not here to become a spelling bee champion. You're here to speak. So here's what we do instead. Focus entirely on sound. You train your ears and your mouth like you're learning music and not spelling. Step 1. Listen and copy. Repeat what you hear. Don't write it down, just say it back. Like karaoke for your mouth muscles. Focus on rhythm, stress, and tone. If you mispronounce it, who cares? Try again. Step 2. Use phonics if you want. Apps like Elsa Speak or YouTube channels like Rachel's English break words into bite-sized sound chunks, like the Ratio for treasure. It helps if you're into that, but again, don't overthink it. Step 3. Record your voice, say a sentence, play it back, compare it to a native speaker, fix one thing at a time, not everything adjust one little sound. Over time, these little fixes stack up. Step 4, prioritize clarity, not perfection. You don't need a British accent. You don't need to sound like a movie star. You need to be understood. That's it. And guess what? Most English speakers around the world have accents, and they're still fluent. Let's talk about some pain points. The English th sound, it doesn't exist in many languages, so people substitute I to think becomes sink or tink, and you know what? That's okay. Your accent tells your story. Don't erase it, just make sure it doesn't confuse the meaning. Same goes for stress. English is a stress-timed language, which means some syllables get loud and long, others get squished. Say banana. It's not banana, it's banano. That second syllable is the star, the others just support it. Here's an exercise. Pick a sentence like I didn't say you stole the money. Say it 7 times, each time stressing a different word. I didn't say you stole the money. I didn't say you stole the money. I didn't say you stole the money. A broken bar, and so on. Each one has a different meaning. That's how powerful stress is. English is music. It has rhythm, intonation, beats. When you focus on sound first, you learn how to feel the language instead of analyzing it. Think of babies again. They don't know what a letter is, but they can mimic sounds, tones, even sarcasm. You should aim to do the same. And spelling? That'll come slowly, naturally, when you start reading more, writing more, texting in English. But it's not the priority now. Your job is to sound like you belong in the conversation even if you can't write a single word of it yet. So tonight, forget the letters, forget the dictionary, just listen, repeat, laugh when you mess up, then try again. One day, someone will compliment your pronunciation, and you'll smile and say, "Thanks, I practiced with Netflix and peanut butter in my mouth." Okay, here's the part where you get weird. You're going to start talking to walls, mirrors, plants, your phone, empty air. No, you're not losing it. You're just training your mouth, your brain, and your confidence to actually speak English without waiting for a real person to show up. Because here's the deal, if you only practice English in your head, you'll freeze the moment someone asks, "Hey, how are you?" Thinking you can speak and actually speaking are two different skills, and the only way to bridge that gap is by doing something most learners are too embarrassed to try: speaking alone, out loud, every day. There's a term for this: self-shadowing. It's used by actors, public speakers, and yes, even CIA operatives learning new languages in isolation. You speak to yourself, mimicking conversations, narrating your actions, pretending to be 2p op.